Hello everyone. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make a replacement for these AeroGarden felt growing mediums that are for use in the AeroGarden's Microgreens Kit. I'm Rebecca from StockingMyPantry.com. Before I get into the how, let's talk about the what. These felt pads are about $1 a piece, which to me is kind of expensive for growing this small amount of microgreens. Now, some are reusing the felt pads, but AeroGarden itself says not to reuse them. They're meant to be single use. I have seen some reviews on the site of people who said, hey, it worked great the first time or two, and on the third time it didn't work, and things didn't grow well, and then, AeroGarden comes back with, well, you're not supposed to reuse them. So anyway, so they're kind of expensive, especially if you only use them once. And in addition to that, sometimes they're out of stock. So you might not be able to get them when you need them. And so I'm going to show you some alternatives that I've come up with that are very inexpensive to make and also reusable. So I have two different materials that I'm going to make the replacement grow medium with. This is a silicone dehydrator sheet, and this is window screen. Now, the reason for making it from two different types of things is that the holes in this are too large for if you're using something such as broccoli seeds or alfalfa. Small seeds will fall through this. It's too big. This window screen works well even with the smaller seeds. Now, the issue is this is food grade. The window screen is not food grade. However, since the microgreens grow up and you cut them about 1/2 inch above the window screen, you're not cutting them directly against the window screen, I think it's okay to use this, but that's, a decision you have to make yourself regarding them. So again, if you use the silicone, the dehydrator sheets, those are made to be used with food, but they have bigger holes, and so small seeds will fall through. You could potentially try doubling these up, like layering one on top of another, but I don't know that that would work. And so for small seeds, I use the screen, and I'm okay with that, and that's a decision you can make for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to use the felt pad that came with the kit as a pattern. Now, if by chance you don't have any of these, you've used them up and you're wanting to make one, and at the end of this video, I'm going to show you another option for making a pattern, but I'm going to use the felt pad. So all that I'm doing is I'm going to place it along the edge. You'll notice that the felt has two straight edges, and it's easiest to put the straight edge against the straight edge of the dehydrator mesh, and then this straight edge down at the bottom. And I'm just using scissors and just going to cut around the felt. And obviously I'm trying not to cut the felt itself so that I can use it, or either use it in the with growing the seeds, or keep using it as a pattern. Okay, so there's that, and then there's just like a little edge here to cut off, little corner. Okay, so I basically just cut around it, and you can see that it's not perfect. You can see it's a little jagged down at this end and so on. But let's try it inside of one of these and see how it does. One thing that you'll find is that sometimes you'll put it in one way and it won't work quite right, and then you just need to flip it over. So for example, if I'm putting it in like this, it's not laying down quite, it's not fitting quite right. And so if that happens, then kind of flip it the other way and see how it works. And you can see that that fits in well. Occasionally, when I cut one out, it doesn't fit quite right. It's a little bit too big, and then I cut off just a teensy bit at a time. And you want to cut off just a little bit at a time because it's easy to all of a sudden cut too much off. Okay, so now I'm going to make one with the window screen, and the process is the same. Put the one edge against the edge and the other one against the bottom edge. And I have already cut some from this screen, so it's not as perfectly even as I would like, but let's just see what we can do here. I'm just going to go straight across and then kind of cut around the curve here. Okay, now let's put it into the microgreens tray and see how that fits. Okay, now you can see that this time it's a little bit big. I've used them a little bit big like this, but it doesn't lay down quite flat. So what I would want to do is just cut a little bit more off of the end to make it fit a little better. Now you want to be careful when you do this because it's easy to all of a sudden have cut too much. So I'm just going to cut just a little teeny bit off the side, like basically one row of the holes, and let's see if that fits better. Still a little bit big. And so one thing I'm seeing is this corner is kind of sticking up, so I'm going to just trim that off. And it's very easy to cut more than you want because I've done that. And so anyway, just cut a teeny bit off. And we'll see if it fits in there a little bit better. And yeah, it fits better. Okay, so that is all there is to making these. And I want to just talk about the cost. I got a package of, I think it was 6 of these mesh dehydrator sheets. I'm able to get 6 of these little grow medium sheets off of 1. So out of the package of 6 of these sheets, I got 36 of these, and they are all very easily reusable. You just pull out all of the roots when you finish using it and wash it real good, and then you can reuse it I don't know how many times, probably dozens and dozens of times. All right, so I got 36 for around $7, and again, they're completely reusable. The metal screen is even cheaper. I got a big roll of it for the window screen for around, it was also under $7, and it's a huge roll. I don't even know how many I could make out of it, but a lot. Okay, so I've used up to this point the felt, and I want to show you what to do if you don't have any of these felts, how you can make a pattern. Okay, now I personally have not used this myself because I've always had the felt, but I kind of tested it out and I think that it'll work fine. So what you do is you just take a piece of foil. So I'm just going to fold it around the outside of the tray and just kind of crease it so that I have a real clear line of where the tray is. And then I'm going to cut out around here, around the foil. Okay, now obviously since I did this around the outside, it's going to be too big. So what you can then do is stick it inside of the tray and fold down the edges. And then you have a more precise pattern that you can use. Okay, so if you by chance don't have any of the felt pads, you can just use foil like this to make one that's a pattern. Now, since I don't think that this is going to be as precise, you may have to trim down the screen that you cut out a little bit more. You might have to fiddle with it, but it'll give you a basic idea of, it'll give you a good starting point of what to use with making these reusable growing mediums. So I have tested out growing with these. I have one video where on the left side of the AeroGarden, I grew with the felt medium that comes from AeroGarden, and on the right side of the Microgreens Kit, I grew with the this mesh green, and I'll leave a link to it in the description so you can see that video. That was me kind of like trying this out for the first time. And then I also have another video where I grew radish seeds on this silicone dryer, this silicone dehydrator sheet, and that worked really well also. So I do definitely recommend that you have some window screen for use with small seeds that would fall through the dehydrator sheet, and then with the dehydrator sheet you use that with larger seeds. You could potentially try using the window screen with everything. I haven't done that yet, but you could try it out if you only want to have one thing to use. So anyway, I hope that you found this helpful. As soon as I tested out the screen, I ordered another microgreens kit from AeroGarden because all of a sudden this made it far more affordable to grow microgreens in the AeroGarden when you don't have to buy the felt replacement pads. So I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like the video. And if you haven't already done so, if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.